the final whistle goes, the Celtic fans will give their players a warm reception as well here at full time after a really good first half performance. A first half performance full of promise. Was besmirched by that Calvin Stengs free kick in first half stoppage time, where he rifled it past Joe Hart from 30 yards, zipped towards the Celtic goal, through the wall, it bounced before it got to the goal, and it bounced past Hart and into the net. It was a huge blow for Celtic, it really was, because they'd had opportunities themselves. Dyson Maida most notably, perhaps, as he drew the save, but that was about Celtic's best chance. Palma early in the second half did force a save as well after the turnaround, but it all turned in Feyenoord's favour not too long after that one. And Celtic did dodge a couple of bullets in the end up. The
first one,
red card shown to Gustav Lagerbielke for giving away the penalty. Paixão's penalty though was saved by Hart. A pretty weak effort. But having dodged that one, Odin Thiago Holm
and obviously Odin
also received his marching orders 4 minutes later after the Lagerbielke red. Holm was off, straight red card for the straight leg challenge. Here threw down the ball in the net. It was ruled out after a VAR check, but Johan Baksh made sure it was a more polished scoreline for the Dutch champions, and that is how it finished, as the Celtic players applaud their supporters up in the top tier of the standoff to our left. It's another disappointing away day though in the Champions League for Celtic. Their away group record now reads played 24, lost 28. They've only avoided defeat 6 times in those 34 Champions League away assignments, and this is another one that's got away from them tonight as Feyenoord put them to the sword. They next face Lazio at Celtic Park 15 days from now. They finished here though in De Kuip in Rotterdam. Feyenoord 2, 9-man Celtic 0.
Yeah, I feel for the players. I think that for the first 60 minutes it was a very even game. We played against a team that obviously been doing very well, scoring lots of goals, but we more than matched them in the first half. We're disappointed with the goal. We made a decision in game to maybe adjust the wall, and it cost us. However, okay, so we have to take that, and I don't mind players, making decisions in game to if it can work. But other than that, we were still well in the game. Second half, really disappointed with the 2 sendings off. And obviously, when it goes down to 9 men, it becomes very difficult. But what we'll say is the spirit of the players was brilliant, and like I said to them afterwards, we kept fighting, we kept working. It's always going to be a challenge, a really difficult challenge with 9 men. But we get to the last game to play Feyenoord at home with everything to play for, then we'll be in with a fantastic chance.
Hello there, this is the Celtic Forever podcast. I'm Zander, and I'm here to go over last night's game, Celtic against Feyenoord in the Champions League. Disappointing night for Celtic, 2-0 defeat. I've got John here with me to go over the game. How are you, John?
Hi, alright Zander, how's yourself?
No great after last night. I was really disappointed with that. I don't think you got a link for the game last night, did you?
No, I had the internet was doing last night, so I missed the whole game. The only thing I managed to see was some highlights and the Brendan Rodgers interview on YouTube. Obviously, my internet was doing all night, so I missed the game. Unfortunately, I missed it, to be honest with you.
Aye. Well, we'll go through the game bit by bit. I thought Celtic played well the first half. We had a couple of chances. We had Maeda's shot pushed wide by the goalkeeper. We would have put us 1-0 up. Half decent save by the goalkeeper. Unlucky there. And we had Hatate's effort where he could have squared in Kyogo, and they decided to hit a shot and the defender blocked it. Did you see the 2 chances?
I've seen the chances on the highlights, aye. Maeda's shot getting pushed around the post. But it wasn't a great shot, was it, really?
No, enough to pull off a diving save, so at least it was a shot on target.
It was a shot on target. It wasn't the greatest of shots, but it's the best Celtic had for what I've seen.
No, I was disappointed in Hatate last night, especially the one he could have squared Kyogo for a tap-in, basically. And he doesn't have a cut his right shoulder. He doesn't see him, obviously. He doesn't square it. But I thought Hatate was a wee bit disappointing last night. Then we get the team defended well the first half. I thought, defence, they kept out feyenoord for the full 47 minutes.
Aye, but like I says, I never seen the game, unfortunately, so I can't really comment on most of it. The Hatate one you're talking about, he could have squared heel. Was that the same one he had the shot right at the keeper?
I think it was the one. See the square on Kyogo. He hit a shot, but the defender blocked it. That was the one the defender blocked and cleared it. But Kyogo was standing himself for a tap in. So that never happened either. And then if we got the free kick, a soft free kick outside the box, 28 yards out. Free kick to feyenoord. Did you see the free kick, John?
I seen the free kick, aye. But I did, like I says, the highlights I seen, that's all I've seen, and they were limited highlights. It was like 3 minutes long.
So all says the free kick was soft, and they gave the free kick. He was choking to get the free kick. And as soon as the free kick was given, I said to myself, watching the game, this is flying into the net. And sure enough, the ball ends up in the back of the net. Joe Hart could have done better, I thought. I think Joe Hart should have saved it. He should have pushed it around the post. He was too slow getting across his goal, and he should have saved it. The ball was a good nearly 30 yards out. He had plenty of time to see it. But anyway, the ball went in. Half-time whistle goes, but 1-0 down at half-time. We then go into the second half. Hatate again, his passing was very wasteful. I know ask you what you thought about it because you never seen it. Every time Hatate went to pass the ball, it went straight to a feyenoord player, more or less every time. So he eventually gets substituted, Hatate. And Thiago Holm comes on. Greg Taylor as well, I thought was quite poor. We had the best defence that we could have put out. Talking about the defence, that leads us on to the penalty. A very, very soft penalty and yellow card Lagerbielke gets sent off. Did you see that, John?
I seen that. Something I did see. I'm still trying to remember the free kick you were talking about. I just can't. I think I'm trying to blank it out of my mind. But I seen the penalty. I remember that. I remember obviously Lagerbielke's put his arm across the player. But is that impeding the guy for getting the ball? Do you think that was a penalty? Do you think it was soft,
No, I think it was very soft. I know Roger said after it that he thought it, once he looked at it again, he thought maybe it was a penalty, but I think it was soft. I think the referee was choking to send him off, and he sent him off. I thought the referee was dreadful last night. He sent him off, gave him the penalty, and Big Joe Hart saves the penalty. It was a good save, actually. He done well to get across and save it. I think that's the first penalty he saved this season. Or maybe
I think it's the
last
first penalty he saved in his career.
Saved. Well, at Celtic it is, I think it is. I know he saved a penalty in a friendly, but nobody's seen it. But that's his first. That's his first actual penalty save. So he done well there. Kept the score down. Stayed at 1-0. But what was annoying me, he was booking Callum McGregor, Lagerbielke, sent him off. But the feyenoord players were flying in with tackles and not even getting spoken to.
Aye, well, I didn't see the game for the 10th time, but for what I've seen of the penalty, I never gave my opinion on it. I think that was very, very soft. That was dubious. That wasn't getting a penalty for that and sending the boy off.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very soft. It's a defender. Defenders are allowed to make their body a wee bit bigger. So what's the ref seen there? Lagerbielke's got his back to the boy. He's got his arms out. The boy runs into his arms and gets a penalty for it and gets Lagerbielke sent off.
Yeah. And where did you make his reactions? Where did you make his reactions? Lying on the ground, rolling about as if he'd been shot. As soon as the referee pointed to the penalty spot, he jumped up, laughing, giggling, jumping on his pal's back. Absolutely shocking antics for the feyenoord players all night.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of that Father Ted episode with over 75's football game and the Italian old guy goes down like he's been shot and then he gets offered the penalty and he's up laughing and that.
No, that's what happened last night. It was unbelievable. It's play acting in a Champions League game, and he gets away with it. He gets his penalty, obviously.
It's no laughing matter, of course. It just reminded me of that when the way you said it there. But no, it is disgusting. It never showed you him getting up laughing and all that right enough on the highlights. It never showed you that. It just showed you, like, you know, the penalty incident. It didn't concentrate on the guy jumping up and laughing and whatever. But for what I've seen, it was never a penalty. Never in a million years was that a penalty. Like you says, that looks like the referee was choking to dish out cares to Celtic players.
Yeah, definitely. And then there was also, obviously you may have seen this, there was a foul on Maida in the penalty box in the first half. The player more or less, the Feyenoord player more or less, nudges him out the road, away from the ball. He doesn't get the ball, and Maida goes flying. Doesn't even get looked at for VAR. Play on, doesn't even get looked at.
Aye, I think it showed you that in the highlights.
It showed you that?
Aye, I think it showed you that in the highlights, aye.
What did you think of that?
I think it was the same. I see that Feyenoord penalty was a penalty. The one in Maida was twice the penalty of that would be Zander.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more. That was, the referee was a homer, 100% homer. He gave Feyenoord everything. He gave Celtic nothing. You know, you look at it, 2 red cards, 2 yellow cards, a penalty. Oh, it was dreadful. Going on to the home red card, actually, he was a wee bit high. It was I would say it was maybe a yellow card. But again, as quick as you could say 1, 2, 3, he's got that yellow card, that red card in his hand, and he's flashing it in the boy's face. Couldn't wait to send them off. Celtic down to 9 men. What did you think of that red card?
To me, it was very soft. A wet pitch. He's went sliding in, and you can see him pulling his leg away. He's no one in there with the studs up intending to injure that Feyenoord player. There's no way he was doing that. He's trying to get his leg away because he's sliding. He knows he's going in. He knows he's going to collide, and he's trying to get his leg away. That's what I've seen. That wasn't a red card. That, to me, that was a yellow card at most. Get in, sliding tackle, low down in the ground with your leg up in there. You're risking a yellow card to me. That's all that should have been. That was never a straight red in its life. And it should be rescinded. Let's see what happens there.
Yeah. But once you're down to 9 men, the game's over. The game's finished. So the fact that we kept it down to 2-0 at the final whistle is actually pretty respectable when you look at the overall picture. Yesterday on the pre-match podcast, we were saying a narrow defeat, as long as we don't get humiliated. We were down to 9 men and we didn't get humiliated. So what did you think of the final score, John? The 2-0 defeat, taking into account everything that happened, the penalties, the red cards and everything else?
I think it's better than we could have expected, especially with 9 men. Yeah, if you're playing, when did we get to 9 men? I think we played half an hour with 9 men, something like that.
But 25 minutes to go, 9 men. Well, and seeing that odd injury time as well, so half an hour.
So about half hour injury time with 9 men. Like I said to you yesterday on the podcast, as long as we get out of there with our dignity intact, I think they did that. Apart from they might have let themselves down a wee bit with the red cards, even though they won the red cards. I think they go there with their dignity intact, and the ref has got a lot to answer for that game, for what I've seen anyway. Because I don't think that was a red card on home. That I know I'm a Celtic fan, Celtic daft and all that. And if any Rangers fan listening will think, everybody, listen, that wasn't a red card. There's no way that was a red card. Doesn't matter if Rodgers thinks it was merited. I certainly don't think it was merited. Because what I'm seeing is Holmes went in there, slide tackle, right? He shouldn't have his leg up in there like that. He's sliding along the ground. He's trying to pull his leg away from it. That's what I've seen.
Yeah, and I think you're right. It was a yellow card. I thought it was definitely a yellow card. His feet was a bit high, and you say he tries to pull out it. It's a yellow card. Fair enough. Give him his yellow card and move on. But he sent the boy off. He's been on the park, what, 5 minutes, if even that, and he sends him off straight red. You know, his first tackle in the game. You know, it just doesn't add up.
It doesn't. The fact that he's gone in there, he's not going in there with his studs shown initially. Like, he's not going in with a straight leg, you know, with studs shown. It wasn't like that. That's a red card. If you go in with a tackle like that, a straight leg, studs shown into a player's shin or knee or whatever, that's a straight red. But Home, his leg was bent. He's trying to get out of it, you know.
Yeah.
So to me, that's not a red card. That's a yellow card. A yellow card today. The ref was 2 card happy, and it was the same with Big Lager Bielke. That was never a yellow card for a booking anyway. So the 2 red cards, I don't think they were warranted, if you ask me.
Yeah. How do you think the game would have went 11v11? I think we could have pulled it back and got a wee equaliser, had a wee chance. How do you think it would have went with 11v11? I know it's hypothetical, but how do you think the game would have went?
I think they could have left there with a draw. If it's 1-0 at half time, then suddenly you're down to 9 men and you go 2-0 down. The game's finished then. But I think if it's 11 men, it's 1-0 at half time. All the 11 players are on the park. The more it goes on 1-0, Celtic are still in with a chance there with 11 men. But the referee ruined it. He totally ruined the game. And they should never referee another Celtic game, in my opinion. Sounds like sour grapes. Maybe it is a wee bit. But for what I've seen, the referee was hopeless last night. Hopeless.
Aye. And I'm not sure. I don't even know who the referee was. I didn't even look at his name. But I don't know where he was from. But he was a shocking referee. One of the worst performances I've seen for a referee in the Champions League. And VAR didn't really help him out either. VAR were agreeing to send these players off. You know, a brush of an arm in the box. It's not even as if he used his elbow and he gives him a second yellow and sends Lagerbielke off. And the second one, a slide tackle on a wet pitch, where he's trying to pull out of the tackle and gives him a straight red. VAR couldn't overturn that. Anyway, we've went on about it enough, John. It is what it is. It's a 2-0 defeat. I think we did well to keep the score down to 2-0, like I said earlier. Keep it respectable. Keep the goal difference down as well, John.
Well, you've got to remember what you're playing here. It's the Dutch champions, right? It's no PSV, runners-up, or whatever they were. Rangers getting beat 5-1 with them. It's no the runners-up. This is the Dutch champions that we were playing with 9 men. And they only managed to struggle a 2-0 win against us. So, I think we got out of there with our dignity intact. Like I says last night, that's all you were hoping for. I think they done that, considering the circumstances, 9 men. So, any Celtic fans out there listening, don't be downhearted about it. It was 2-0. We had a really dodgy ref. I don't care what anybody says in any other podcast or whatever. Them 2 bookings were never red cards.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I was actually raging last night watching it. I couldn't believe what I was watching. But then I looked at the other game, the other result. That helped us out a wee bit. Finished 1-1. Lazio and Atletico Madrid finished 1 each. So we're only 1 point behind the other 2 teams. That's a slight bonus at this early stage in the Champions League, isn't it?
Aye. But I'm thinking them other 2 teams, Lazio and Madrid, I think they're better teams than Feyenoord. I think they'll be better teams.
Aye. We should have come to there with a point last night. I know I keep going on about it, but it's done now, isn't it? It's the game's finished. We're bottom of the group, and here after 1 game. And I think it's the next game Lazio at home. 2
home games anyway, isn't it?
I'm sure it's Lazio at home, but whoever it is, whether it's Lazio or Atletico, we've got to come out there with 3 points. We've got to win. But we'll talk about that nearer the time. I think the next game's a couple of weeks away. All right. We'll move on with a wee quick 2-minute chat about the weekend's game. We'll move on to Livingston. In Livingston, Tony Macaroni Stadium, plastic pitch. It's going to be tough after playing that game with 9 men, isn't it?
Aye. It's never easy going to Livingston. We know that. We've known a great record there for the past 5 years or whatever. apart from when Ange took over, things got better. So let's hope that continues and we continue to keep winning at Livingston. But it's always hard, isn't it? There, it's always a hard game. It's always one of the games that Celtic fans dread. Or no, Livingston again, that horrible, horrible pitch. And the thing is, when you go to Livingston, Celtic fans filling 3/4 of that stadium. It should be enough to lift the players, that Zander.
Yeah. Just coming back, the travelling, the defeat, the 9 men, the heavy legs, the wet pitch, and then having to travel to Livingston, you know. I just hope we can put in a half decent enough performance to get the 3 points and move on after that. But it's going to be tough, isn't it?
Aye. But what I suppose the good thing is they've got a few days off before they play Livingston. It's not like they're playing on a Thursday and then having to play on a Sunday morning or something like that. They're getting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. Is the game on Saturday, aye?
Livingston? Game's on Saturday, aye.
Aye, so they're getting 3 days off. That's not too bad. That'll give them enough time to prepare the team. I think we should be maybe strong enough to get past Livingston. Celtic always seem to be better on the road, although we get beat at Kilmarnock. But we're getting better. I think the team's getting better.
Yeah.
And I think they can hold their heads up after last night. Zander playing with 9 men and only leaving there with a 2-0 defeat.
Yeah. I think we could have played better with 11 men as well, I suppose. But as you said, you've got to remember you're up against the Dutch champions. But, you know, it is what it is. It's the Champions League. It's a level up for the SPL, obviously. So a couple of levels up. So we take it in the chin and we move on to Livingston game. So commiserations to Celtic anyway. They battled hard. They tried their hardest. We didn't win the game. We didn't get a point and we move on. Anything else you want to add, John?
No, I was just thinking about things that Rogers says last night because I've not got much to add to the podcast today, unfortunately. I'm going to apologise for that, Zander. The internet crashed last night, but the only things Rogers was saying Hatate's decision making was poor. Which you've already added that. You already said that.
Yeah.
You thought that yourself. His decision making was poor. He just kept going on about inexperience and decision making. That was what Rogers really had to say about the game: inexperience and the poor decision making.
Yeah, I think the board let Rogers down, John, in the transfer window. I think they never gave him the money he needed to make a fist in the Champions League. He never got the players that he wanted, so they'll be back down to the old board, isn't it? As regards to lack of funds.
He's just got to make do with what he's got. I mean, we've spoken about this before a while ago. If Rogers didn't get the players he wanted, Ange did get the players that he wanted. It's as simple as that. So Rogers has got to work with these players that he's got there now. And I think there's a lot of really good players in the Celtic team. Once that team clicks, I think they'll be unstoppable in the Scottish League anyway. We've got Carter Vickers. We're missing him badly, aren't we?
Aye, he seems to be a bit injury prone now. You know, he was back for a game and a half and got injured again after having that long layout. So hopefully that's not something that's going to continue. Hopefully when he comes back, that's him fit, actually 100% fit and ready to go.
Carter Vickers, he's been out since 4 or 5 games at the end of the season. And he's been out since that. And by the time he gets back, that's him. He's going to be out, say he's back the end of October or something like that. He's still got a few weeks to go.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking if it's the end of October he's back and they stopped playing, was it the end of June the season ended this season, wasn't it?
Aye.
June, July, August, September, 5 months out.
Aye, it's a long time. Aye. There must have been, I don't know if the injury he's out with just now is the same injury he had at the end of last season. I don't know if it's the same injury. I have no idea what's wrong with him just now. I just know he's got another long-term injury. So
Aye,
hopefully he's back.
It's the same injury. It's the same one, Zander. Aye.
Right, is it? Hopefully he's back sooner rather than later. Anyway. All right, mate. We'll leave it there. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on and giving us your thoughts on last night's game. We move on. It's not, as you said, it's not the end of the world, and we'll do another wee podcast on Saturday for the game against Livingston. You all right with that, John?
Aye, no problem at all. We'll see what happens Saturday afternoon. See if the Celtic players are up for it after getting beaten in Europe.
Yeah, I'm sure they will be.
It's always a big ask after that, but for now, I'll let you go to now then, Zander, and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, John, I appreciate that. And, as I say, thanks for coming on. Thanks a lot, buddy. See you next time, eh?
Okay, Zander, see you next time. Hail, hail.
See you next time. Bye-bye. Hail, hail.